Ghana, and we're until 2 p.m. right here on the show. And as we do always, we bring you the news update, and Harry Taddy will bring that to us. But of course, later on the show, we have conversations that will be coming up on the show, and that includes a counseling session that is coming up for our teachers, and that is being organized by the GES. We'll get to talk about that, and then we'll be speaking about Ghana's cocoa sector, but there's a very important part of the value chain that we are going to look at today, and that is the organization or the Ghana Cocoa Marketing Company. Yes, we'll be speaking to them to understand their role. In fact, in all the issues that have sprung up from December till now, what really is their role in that? We'll get to speak to the public relations officer for the Cocoa Marketing Company will join us here on the show, and then later we'll take a look at the ministers or the Finance Minister's statement on the floor of Parliament yesterday about the reserves, and it's brought up a lot of debates. We'll get to talk about that with an economist, and also tomorrow is the State of the Nation's address. The President will be delivering that on the floor of Parliament. We'll be taking a look at that also, what to expect, and the last year in terms of the economy, what has been done by this government. So these and many more coming up on the show today, so do want to stay with us to the very end. We are live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana, also on DSTV channel 277 on the radio. It's 94.1 FM. So we're going to get into the very first part of the show, and that is the news update. And Harriet Addy is standing by to bring that to us. Hi, Harriet. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Desmond.
Are you okay?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
I'm good. By God's grace, we're back here as always for Golden Country.
I know.
Yes, do take us away with the news update.
Well, let's take a look at the headlines for this bulletin. Ghana is being positioned to become a leading industrial hub in West Africa as President Mahama commissions major manufacturing facilities in the Western region, including a new $250 million float glass factory. And Public Utilities Regulatory Commission summons the Electricity Company of Ghana over widespread complaints about the rapid depletion of prepaid electricity units following the recent tariff adjustment under the multi-year tariff order. And lastly, following recent news of indiscipline in schools, what will the role of counseling be in curbing some deviant behaviors in students? We will explore that alternative even as GS marks Guidance and Counseling Week. So this and many more coming up shortly. To our first story, President John Dramani Mahama has commissioned major manufacturing facilities in the Western region, including a new $250 million float glass factory. The president says the project will reduce Ghana's dependence on imports, boost exports, and position the country as a leading industrial hub in West Africa. Presidential correspondent Shadrach Odamejari filed this report.
This is not merely expansion of factories. It is a statement to the world, a statement that Ghana is no longer content to be a consumer and importing economy.
President John Dramani Mahama cut the sword for a $250 million float glass manufacturing plant and commissioned new production lines for ceramic tiles and sanitary ware in Shamar in the Western region. The float glass factory, to be completed in phases, will produce up to 1,400 tons of glass per day when fully operational, making it one of the largest facilities of its kind in Africa.
If you imagine that every piece of glass you see in this country, from our drinking glasses to our windows to our beer bottles, every single piece of glass you see in this country is imported from outside. And so this is going to be a game changer in terms of glass production.
According to the president, Ghana imported more than 65,000 tons of glass in 2024. The new plant is expected to cut imports, save foreign exchange, and generate nearly $100 million annually in export earnings at full capacity. Phase 5 of the ceramic tile factory was also inaugurated, increasing production to 200,000 square meters per day. The tiles are already being exported to more than 20 countries, including the United States and parts of Europe.
Indeed, when CEO of the business, Li Wei, told me that we're exporting ceramic tiles to Europe and America, I found it very wonderful, because before we would have been going to import tiles from Italy and Spain and other locations. Today, you take the tile, you look behind it, and you see made in Ghana. This is how to build a strong economy. This is how to build a strong currency. Production underpins the value of currency, not by speculation, but by production and exports.
The projects are expected to create over 2,000 direct jobs and thousands more indirectly, while contributing significant tax revenue to the state. President Mahama says the expansion aligns with Ghana's industrialization drive and opportunities under the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat, headquartered in Accra. He described the investment as proof that Ghana's economy is regaining strength and investor confidence. The first phase of the float glass factory is expected to be completed in 2027. Shadrach Odame Ejari, Metro News, Western Region.
Now, away from that, residents of Bafokrom have expressed relief at the construction of a new CHIPS compound equipped with a nest quarters to ensure 24-hour service in healthcare delivery in the Mfansman constituency. Now, this will significantly improve healthcare accessibility in rural areas, fulfilling a campaign promise to build a CHIP compound in Bafokrom.
The facility, when fully commissioned, is expected to serve 4 communities surrounding Bafokrom, that is Ishiro community, Akotrugwa,
so that's how they write it
in the Jumako and Yan Isiam district, reducing a long travel distances for emergency and antenatal care in Central Region. Residents describe the commissioning as timely. Local leaders express appreciation to the MP, Prince Ebenezer Kojo Ahine, for his efforts in bringing development to the constituency.
Now, what's the book of Sukan? So, on Yana, we pay a minimum, Yapan, so it's unfortunate me. Putting me a mamma than Panoya Kwan, Damabaya, Quanap, Quinabab, with my call. Yes, I won't know buying him and Obocoman Kissim, and son of Wako, and I will Robin and I, or how can't put on house my because Titribu, yes, Quania, Bonacan, can on them the new Huntman identity, Flacabella member, Huntman identity member. And may I do Madamadia Bahama. As a Dankotin, Yadama, Yapa MP.
He departed them to the Oracle in Pesoma. Was an abatano, mostly, Sir Yarasam or Quaka Woodenpa, Ayana, Oya Zimon, and a dream in Samano. A boy would one night Akaya and Zambibri, Nadamaz or Codoha, in Yaji Papa MP, or good old Ma, what's them?
A large tree, Kefu, and the Sinan Sana, say you are Hamuyala, Yala, Yamayahoda and Yaba. And so I major Bebrele Damadi, all best home.
Bafokrom Samaria is one of the fastest growing communities in the municipality and is in need of basic infrastructure and amenities. Chief of the area, Nana Adam Afezi, commended the NDC government for the speed of work to get the facility completed.
I didn't hear because Madame Habaris, Mimiari, Miss Moya Yaufa. Young Bibu at my Bibia woman. She had quite swap on near Miadmara. What to a baby abandon there, Ebisada Ibisa. Into more the kind pie, Yaquine. Clinic and a bar, Yaquan and Po, Yajutum did not see Yakin Sana, Aquana Saba. Into your best day, Sin West City, Mirkawadi Yajuman, Uncle the Mara, and to our much I feel Bocune where you are my hair.
See, worry a chip compound for the good people of Bafokrom Ishiro Inara. ọwọ Samaria Mpotompo na no kwani dwumeza wodi no and pay area make say many contractor ni one of the workers a onye ho na maina akasa ma orhwa achede by next week nku obokuru dan na achede timelines I was ma ho the 6 months we think we do no na achede obotum we.
And the Yaman crowd of Ejapoma in Achimebwakwa in the eastern region, Bafwa Mpemdako Tree III, and CSO Save the Mining Communities Ghana have joined forces to combat the Galamsey menace in the Ebuakwa South municipality of the eastern region.
Speaking at the launch of the CSO Save the Mining Communities Ghana at Achem, Ejapoma, Bafwa Mpemdako Tree III lamented the exclusion of traditional leaders from mining concession decisions, saying it hampers effort to curb Galamsey in their communities. The chief expressed concern that decisions affecting stool land are frequently made in Accra without proper consultation, leaving chiefs powerless to monitor activities. He urged authorities to inform traditional leaders about concessions in their areas, enabling them to supervise operations and ensure compliance.
Galamsey duma na nanom ka ho ebi a me tifie obi so e concession na dan one see no frey ye no kopre wo the concession man go kra me nya no tie bi nim say highway concession wo be won so ma concession na o che wuro ngu wa to na sase nya me tifie me dey hu say ye du Galamsey aso da bi abo be ka Galamsey ase bi na mo de na nanom afra enye ne sa e so mo ma concession a mo ma na nanom su say papa we ana eye duma wo wasa asene so eti se me ko na bibi nko ya onu na me ko ne so enso mo muti enkan obi ba ya na mo de pepes no ama eti amu susu mbiri mu ye na mo mututu ne ma no so wo so a ebebo aye so aye wa mo ma concession mo ma na nanom so nya dey ehu bi.
Meanwhile, Save the Mining Communities Ghana, founded by Andrews Kwame Peprem, has announced a renewed push to remove young people from illegal mining sites and return them to the classroom. The group's primary target is to take children and youth off mining sites and reintegrate them into formal education by providing learning materials and academic support.
You do to protect their lives. So we will give them education on how they can mine sustainably. Aside that, we will occasionally bring in health workers to teach them basic first aid, because mining accidents occur a lot, and at times very basic first aid can save lives, which they don't do. So that is one aspect. We also want to take children of school going out of the mining site, so we encourage education.
The organization plans to refill abandoned mining pits, reclaim degraded land, and promote agriculture to restore the environment and create sustainable income sources.
And organizers of the Stop Galamsey Now protest have vowed to proceed with their planned demonstration on February 27, 2026, despite a request from the Ghana Police Service to reschedule it due to security constraints linked to the State of the Nation address, insisting their campaign against illegal mining cannot be delayed. Now, joining us via Zoom is the organizer of the Stop Galamsey Now protest, Nii Ashifi Smith. Good afternoon, Nii. Thank you for joining us. Hello. If you can hear me, good afternoon. Touch with him, but when he gets to join us on the phone, we ask him a few questions. Nii Ashifi. Well, unfortunately, we couldn't get in touch with Nii Ashifi, but as the show goes on, we'll get in touch with him and find out from him why they insist on going on the demonstration tomorrow. Now, away from that, illegal mining activities in Ghana's forest reserves have surged significantly, with degraded land increasing to 8,923.8 hectares in the 2024, according to the latest survey findings. Now, the report raises fresh concerns about the growing environmental impacts of galamsey operations as authorities struggle to curb encroachment into protected forests across the country.
Illegal mining in Ghana's forest reserves has increased significantly over the past 3 years, with affected land rising by 5,252.9 hectares from 2021 levels to 8,923.8 hectares as of December 31, 2024. That's according to a new survey conducted by the Forestry Commission. The report identifies the Ashanti region as the hardest hit, with 4,948.9 hectares of forest land impacted. It is followed by the Western North region, where 2,195.7 hectares have been affected. On the other hand, the Savannah and Central regions recorded the lowest levels of impact. Presenting the findings, Dr. Ben Togbo of the Forest Services Division said the most affected reserves include the Oda River and Apamprama Forest Reserves in Ashanti, as well as the Upper Wasau Forest Reserve in the Western North region. The survey combined ground assessments, drone mapping, expert analysis, and satellite-based verification using historical imagery from Google Earth Pro to ensure accuracy and wider coverage. Dr. Togbo further revealed plans by the Commission to introduce an artificial intelligence-enabled system to automatically detect and measure illegal mining activities in forest reserves. The Commission is also expected to publish its next update on affected reserves in June 2026.
Now, let's go back to our earlier story where Ni Ashifi Smith, who is the organizer of the Stop Galamsey Now, was supposed to join us, but he is joining us via Zoom now. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for joining us. If you can hear me, kindly unmute for us. We're still struggling to get Ni Ashifi to help us with the conversation on why they insist on holding the protest tomorrow. But we'll move on to more stories and to get to him for us to have the conversation. Well, away from that protest, we'll bring you that interview in our subsequent news bulletin. But public concern is growing over reports of unusually fast depletion of prepaid electricity credits in parts of the country. Now, the Energy Ministry has therefore directed the Electricity Company of Ghana to submit a report within 7 days over concerns about fast depleting prepaid power credit. During the launch of the MBH meter launch, the Minister John Abu-Janapo and his deputy Richard Jan Mensah took turns to address the matter.
On my return is that next week we will have a meeting with all the meter manufacturing companies in Ghana, NEC.
And Deputy Presidential Spokesperson Shamima Muslim has assured the general public that a meeting will be held with the Electricity Company of Ghana to better understand the specific causes of the ongoing high electricity consumption. Our Director of Communication for the New Patriotic Party, Richard Ahiagba, described the situation as one that needs to be dealt with. Richard further asked that Ghanaians be refunded.
Even though we've listened to the PRO speak about the general reasons why, you may experience, a fast decline in your units, amongst whether the appliances that you're using and all of those things that you just read to us. However, we have to concede that if people are monitoring their units with the same constant variables, they shouldn't expect an exhaustion of those units, in a very short space of time. So what I know is happening to do is a meeting with the ECG officials to get a deeper understanding on what is causing this. Mind you, we do have these quarterly adjustments that is in our IMF program, and every quarter we are expected to do these adjustments. So sometimes when those adjustments also come on stream, it affects, the value you get from the units you will buy. But we need to get the confirmation on what is the specific reason for these reported, incidences amongst a section of our consumers. So later today, we are hoping to get a comprehensive briefing from the electoral ECG, I beg your pardon, Electricity Company of Ghana.
Public Utilities Regulatory Commission has summoned the Electricity Company of Ghana over widespread complaints about the rapid depletion of prepaid electricity units following the recent tariff adjustment under the multi-year tariff order.
In a letter dated February 25, 2026, PURC said it had taken note of media reports and public concerns that prepaid units were running out faster than expected after the 9.86% tariff increase implemented on January 1, 2026. The Commission has scheduled an emergency meeting on February 26 in Accra to receive a technical briefing from ECG on how the revised tariffs were integrated into the prepaid metering and vending systems. ECG is expected to present data on vending trends, meter updates, system configurations, and the scale of consumer complaints, as well as outline measures to address the issue. While the Energy Ministry has directed ECG to investigate and submit a report within 7 days, ECG maintains it has only applied tariffs approved by PURC, attributing the situation partly to increased electricity consumption due to hot weather and higher appliance usage. The meeting is expected to clarify the concerns and restore consumer confidence.
Well, away from that, the Minority Leader in Parliament, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, has accused the government of abandoning key pillars of the economy, particularly the energy sector reforms and the cocoa industry, describing the situation as a betrayal of the mandate given to them by Ghanaians. The Minority Leader further charged the government to do better, urging the Minister for Finance to immediately restore the producer price of cocoa instead of introducing what he described as unnecessary new policies.
Mr. Speaker, the people of Ghana, and I start from the youth, you promised them 1 job, 3 shifts. I expect you, as a finance minister, to come to this house to address us on effort you are making. It's been 1 year. 1 year. Your own constituent, give us data. How many people you've employed? In Jomoro, in Ebaregira, in Efutu, the transport minister, the roads and highways minister, in his own constituency at Adaku, how many people have benefited from job creation policy? You come to this house, and you tell us 15-month import cover, and you come and spend a whole 1 hour when your people have no jobs. Mr. Speaker, even when you come to the recruitment, it's a complete scam. And I'll explain to you, the recruitment into police, immigration, prison, you are now even telling the youth that they should go and buy forms. They should go behind computer and do aptitude tests. In this country, how many areas have internet? The youth are spending more. The youth who are already unemployed, they are borrowing to spend, to have access to computer. These are things that you have ignored. You've ignored. And you come and sit here and say, macro, nebedi. Macro.
Well, that'll be all for the news update on Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Harriet Addy. Over to you, Desmond.
Harry, thank you very much for bringing us the news updates. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get into the conversations on the show today. We're going to speak to some guests from the Ghana Education Service. They have a counseling summit that they're embarking on. We'll get to interrogate and ask them about that also. And later, we'll get into the conversation with the cocoa marketing company about Ghana's cocoa sector. So stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
I'm a branch manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to Amame Manfo. Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is so buying, a man is swing, and a sansu mama hoto so a will beg you.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. And in the valleys, keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Yeah, believe it, you can achieve. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make me stand the black. Oh yeah, come alive. Let me hear you.
Puma drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advert is FDA approved.
The Ghana Trade Fair Company is proud to announce the most anticipated shopping event of the year, the Eid Al-Fitr Grand Sales 2026, from Wednesday 18th March to Monday 23rd March 2026 at the prestigious West Hills Mall. Discover stunning fashion, exquisite jewelry, luxurious fragrances, innovative gadgets, and beautiful homeware, all at incredible sales prices. Showcase your product to thousands of eager shoppers during this peak festive season. Register now for your best spot. Contact the Ghana Trade Fair Company Limited 0597 423 304 or 0244 469 451 or 050 2500 632. Fancy Gadam will be performing live at the fair. Celebrate it in style. Eid Al-Fitr Grand Sales 2026. Partners: Ghana Enterprise Agency, Ghana Export Promotion Authority, Media Partners, UTV, Peace FM, Kasapa FM, Metro TV, Bina TV.
Right, welcome back from the break. This is Good Afternoon Ghana here on Metro TV. My name is Desmond Okrekudanso, and we're on till 2 p.m. on the show and also live on Facebook, Metro TV Ghana, also on DSTV channel 277 and 94.1 FM on radio. We're transmitting live on there. We have a very important conversation from the quarters of the Ghana Education Service, and this is the Guidance and Counseling Week. It started on the 23rd of February, and so it is ongoing. We're going to be talking about that. So joining me in studio is Kofi Abua Dante, is president for the GES Guidance and Counseling Association Greater Accra chapter, and Sally Mbia Coleman is the vice president of the Guidance and Counseling Association Greater Accra chapter. So welcome to the program. Good to have you on this very important conversation. Let me begin with you, Kofi Abua Dante. You are the president. So let me begin with you. Just give us a quick background on this association and why it was important that it be established.
Good. Guidance and counseling is one of the core mandate of Ghana Education Service. It's one of the key, I would say, features, yeah. And we teachers in guidance and counseling, we need to come together. You know, we have Maths Teachers Association, English Teachers, Physics, so we need to come together because we have an important role we play in upbringing of the children. So this came to mind and we came together to form the association. It has been there for years now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And how has it fed? Are students patronizing? Are students coming to you, you know, for advice, for all of these things?
Counselors don't give advice. We counsel, we don't give advice.
What's the difference?
Yes, advice given is different from counseling. Counselors are professionals who direct children or people to achieve their aim or to reach their self-actualization. But advice, everybody can advise.
Well, in this case, I'm talking about you as professionals doing that. So it's just the same there. And to you, Sally, let's take it from the female perspective. The female students we have on our campuses and what they go through and coming to counselors. Do they actually come? Because I must have heard a couple of conversations where they say, we don't go to counselors because if we go and say it, they'll go and say, all of those things. But do they come to you, the females?
Yes, the females actually come to us.
Okay.
Because as a counselor, trained counselor, your attitude and how you establish rapport with those girls allow them to come to you for counseling.
Right.
And so sometimes we say they don't come. We have trained counselors and untrained. And so if you're a trained counselor, definitely you must create room for them to come to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So every school in the Greater Accra region has a department like that? In fact, every school in the country, every high school in the country has that.
Not a high school, even basic school.
Basic school.
Basic school?
Yes. So in the senior high school, we call them the guidance and counseling coordinators.
Okay.
Because they are trained. And in the basic school, we call them facilitators. Some are trained, some are untrained. That is why we have the district guidance and counseling coordinators who give them training and equip them with the needed skills for them to be able to do the work at the primary level.
Oh, okay. So in all schools, there are facilitators and then there are the counselors at the senior high school level. Okay. So let's then get into the conversation about the week celebration. It started on 23rd. What has been done so far towards today? Today's 26th. Right.
Okay. The week, we have about 29 metros, municipalities within the region. So every municipality or district have a different program altogether. But we started with a lunch on Monday.
Okay.
So everybody launched it on Monday. The second day 2, which is Tuesday, they had individual programs. Some had talks, some had cleanup, some had sports, other things. Yes, and the third day 2, there are seminars and symposiums, talks, and other programs. Then we will climax it on Friday at Presec Legon.
Okay.
That's where all the municipalities will meet, converge.
Okay.
But during the week-long program, everybody had it on its own area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So from Monday as it began, it has been school by school or metros or districts.
District by district.
District by district. So it is 27th, that is tomorrow, that everyone is meeting at Presec Legon. Okay, right. So the theme for this year, quite an interesting one. It says empowering minds and enriching lives for holistic development, the role of the councillor. Sally, tell us about this.
And so when you look at what we selected, you could see that guidance and counseling plays an essential role in the lives of the children.
Right.
So for instance, when you look at academic, social, even their makeup, their psychological makeup, it all does with a counselor.
Okay.
And so I was just telling my colleague Kofi that even when they are going for sports, there's supposed to be a counselor who will coach them, who will counsel them, so that they will know it's a game of chance. We will not be seeing all this harassment and beating or violence we are seeing. And so for us, with this team that we've selected, we want everybody to know that counselors are there. We are available for you to come.
Right.
So that at the end of the day, we'll get the school safe for teaching and learning.
How are you roping in parents and guardians in this week's celebration?
Excellent. So this week's celebration, we have an opportunity. So the Form 3s are also writing. And so in view of that, we are inviting parents for career counseling, which is part of it. Because during the career, a lot of parents choose career that does not suit the children's intellectual ability. And so sometimes someone may be a nurse, but that job is not what he wanted to do because he was forced into it. And so this time, we involve parents. And so during this week, we have done so.
Right. I wouldn't say that I ever visited the counseling unit whilst I was in high school, whilst I was in Thomas Square. I'm not sure that I visited any. And for some students, they may not see that as they may not feel comfortable coming around and speaking to counselors like that. So throughout this week, how are you also engaging the students to understand that you are the reason why this unit has been set up?
Wonderful. Yeah, it came with the lunch.
Okay.
Yeah, during the lunch, the students were introduced, were informed about. Yeah, but you were saying you have not visited the counseling before. We have the individual counseling and the group counseling. So maybe you benefited from the group counseling, which may be unconscious to you. But individuals who have challenges go one-on-one to have that counseling. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's important.
And to add to what Sally said.
Okay.
Most of the times during PTAs, they give us opportunity to also encourage parents, because like she mentioned, career. Somebody will just push the child to go because he's a doctor, he's a banker, so the child should be a banker. The child needs to be maybe a musician or whatever it is. So through this thing, we encourage parents, we counsel parents to let the children come to realization what they want to be. Yeah. So we have interaction with them.
Is it a difficult job?
To you, it may be a difficult, but professionally trained, it's a passion.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting to hear that, because when it comes to students at that age, the adolescence age, they have, of course, especially this particular generation that we have, the Gen Zs, there's a certain mindset about how they want things for themselves and who they want to interact with. And so that's why I was asking the question that do they feel comfortable coming to you, speaking to you about some of these issues that they face, and then is it difficult in terms of trying to guide them or counsel them that this is not what I think as a professional, and so let's do it this way?
It becomes difficult when you are advising them, but counselors don't advise.
Okay.
Yes, you are guiding them. The child will come with, you see, it's client oriented. The client comes to you with his or her problem, so you are helping to navigate those challenges.
Right.
You get it. So it's difficult when you are advising, but in counseling. And now we are going, you see, the team said empowering the mind. We are going down. You are looking at the senior high school, at the adolescent, but now we are coming to...
No, you're taking it down to the JHS, as you mentioned.
Tap it from the grass.
Okay.
Because they will know what they want to, because most of the challenges that we see now started from somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. As we are wrapping up on this, what are the challenges that you're facing and that you need the GES and all other stakeholders to help you with?
That's a very powerful question.
Very, very powerful.
You know that sometimes when we are doing programs, we need sponsors. You write to other companies, I don't know whether they don't see the essence, but they've forgotten that even when a child, you were a mother, you were pregnant, you need counseling. Even right at the time you go to the grave, on how they will even put you in the coffin, there's supposed to be someone who will guide you. And so the challenge we are facing is sometimes the sponsorship.
Okay.
That is to us. And at times too, it becomes difficult when people, they don't give you the chance to do your work as a counselor.
Oh, right, right.
To add on to what he said, it becomes a challenge when every advisor sees himself as a counselor.
Okay.
You know, when you go to the churches...
You're very particular about the advisors and then the counselors.
You know, they said the churches have counseling. What do they do? Do you understand?
Right. I understand that.
So people, everybody sees, that's why we are not getting recognition, sponsorship, because, I can advise my child, I can talk to my child, this and that. So why do you need me to...
A counselor, yeah.
But there's a professionality in it. We have to put the professional touch
to it, right.
And also to add up to what Kofi said, you know, you have license B, license C. I drive maybe a 4x4, a saloon car. I cannot just turn up and drive a truck because I don't have the license.
You don't have the license for that.
But people think they have done just function of guidance and counseling. And so because of the functions, they think they are trained counselors. So they take on the job. But you must know that someone who is trained and you who is not trained, it's very difficult on how you give the counseling.
Right.
And so in our universities, they do functions of guidance and counseling, just for you to know that they are professionals and this is what you're supposed to do. And so you cannot assume the role of a truck driver to a saloon. That's what they are forgotten.
That's a powerful analogy there. So guys, that's it for this particular conversation. Take note of that, the GES Guidance and Counseling Week. It's wrapping up tomorrow, 27th February at Presec Legon, where all the districts will come together for this powerful week as they wrap up on that with the theme Empowering Minds and Enriching Lives for Holistic Development, the role of the counselor. So you heard from Kofi Eboadazi, the president for the GES Guidance and Counseling Association in the Greater Accra, and also Sally Imbiakoma, the vice president of the association. So take note of that. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're getting into the cocoa sector. We're going to be speaking to our guest from the Cocoa Marketing Company of Ghana to understand their role in all of this that is happening, the cocoa sector, and some of the things that have been coming up ever since the issue of the delayed payments to the cocoa farmers have come up. So stay with us. We'll be back shortly after this break.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, Parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600 and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ampedu.
Good afternoon, Mr. San.
How is business doing?
My business is collapsing.
Why is your business collapsing?
I sold my products and services to my clients on credit, and my debtors are not paying their debts.
Have you heard of Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company operating in all the 16 regions of Ghana?
Not at all.
Mr. Ampedu, all you need to do is to contact them on their customer service line. I recommend Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company to financial institutions, businessmen and businesswomen, other companies, and also individuals. Rosic Consult has 98.4% debt recovery rate. We have professional debt recovery managers. You are assured of swift debt recovery. No recovery, no commission. For Rosic Consult Limited, no more write-offs. And we pre-finance the recovery ourselves.
We are changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. And in the valleys, keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Puma, Puma. Yeah, believe it, you can achieve. Puma, Puma. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we set the Puma. Oh yeah, come alive. Puma, Puma. Let me hear you. Puma.
Puma Drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advert is FDA approved.
My name is Funny Face, and this is the Children's Park. This is the Children's President.
I'm standing here this day by the grace of God and the prayers of parents and their children.
So on the 6th of March 2026, we are standing live in worship and in thanksgiving. It's the Kiss in Worship. Thanksgiving with Funny Face.
When Wale Wale, Sunyani, Tamale, Kuntusi, Pokwase, Santase, wherever you are, please join me.
It is a free show. Please, children, make sure you join Uncle on the 6th of March for us to give God the thanks and praise.
I miss them so much. Please join me and let. Children, I miss you.
Miss you too.
You miss me?
Yeah.
Oh, I miss you too.
Mommy, Daddy, please join us. Thank God for healing our president at Ifa Sutherland Children's Park, Accra.
With Metro TV and Original TV, supported by Original FM.
Welcome back to the program. Now we're going to get into some business conversations. So we'll get into Business Edge here on the show. My name is Desmond Okrekunas. We're live on 94.1 FM, also on DSTV channel 277, and also on Facebook and Metro TV Ghana, and also on the multi-TV Digibox. We're going to begin with the exchange rate, how the city is faring against the major trading currencies. You have that on the screen in a bit, and then we get into the other conversations as we have here on the show with the Cocoa Marketing Company, and the media liaison officer has joined me in studio for the conversation. So we'll get into that in a bit. So let's take a look at how the city is faring against the dollar, and that is the official one from the Bank of Ghana today, 26th February. So to the dollar, it's buying at 10 cedis 65 pesos and selling at 10 cedis 66 pesos. Also for the British pound sterling, buying at 14 cedis 42 pesos and selling at 14 cedis 44 pesos there. And to the euro, it is buying at 12 cedis 57 pesos and selling at 12 cedis 58 pesos there. So do take note of that, and those are the rates from the Bank of Ghana as we're sharing with you here on the show. Right, so I mentioned to you that we have a conversation with the Cocoa Marketing Company. It's a very crucial part of Ghana's cocoa system or sector, and Ambrose Amwa Eshia has joined me here. He is the media liaison officer for the Cocoa Marketing Company. We're going to take a look at the role of the marketing company in our sector, in the cocoa sector, and then look at some of the things, including the reforms that were mentioned. So you can join in with your comments and also your thoughts on our pages, Metro TV Ghana, on the platforms. So welcome to the program, sir.
My brother, thank you very much.
Yes, it's been a while. I actually had the cocoa, or we've had the cocoa sector being, being the topical issue for like close to 3 months, back to back on that. And for many, one that always comes up is Ghana Cocoa Board. For that, we've been talking about it always. But there's the Cocoa Marketing Company, which is a very crucial part of the sector. So I want to find from you, what exactly does the Cocoa Marketing Company do in this cocoa value chain in the country?
So thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. And let me say good afternoon to our viewers, especially my own brother Joseph Maoli Golomeke, Upper Dencha West in the Central Region. Well, the Cocoa Marketing Company is a key plank in the cocoa conversation and the development of the cocoa sector in Ghana. It is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Ghana Cocoa Board that serves as its commercial arm.
Right.
Essentially, it has the responsibility of ensuring that cocoa beans are sold to external or internal buyers, and also ensures that proper logistics are provided for the storage of cocoa beans in key warehouses across the country. So essentially, it takes the lead role in terms of ensuring that we get value for money and ensure that we realized how much we want to realize from the sale of our cocoa beans as a nation. So as an arm or as a subsidiary of the Ghana Cocoa Board, there's no way we can discount the Cocoa Marketing Company. Currently, under the leadership of Dr. Wisdom Dogbe and his management, the Cocoa Marketing Company has taken a turn that places Ghana on a higher pedestal in terms of ensuring that our cocoa beans are bought at the right places and at the right prices.
Right. Thank you very much for giving us that understanding. So in the work of doing the marketing, what exactly is done?
Okay, so in terms of doing the marketing, the cocoa beans are produced, and when they are produced, if you want to sell them outside the shores of this country, there's a way they must be kept.
Okay.
So the Cocoa Marketing Company has operational areas, operational centers in Itema, Kumasi, and Takoradi.
Okay.
Where it ensures that these beans are kept so that they can be sent outside You go to Tema and you find key warehouses where cocoa beans are stored for onward shipment to entities that will need them abroad. But as part of the reforms I'll be speaking about in a jiffy, you would realize that the Ghana Cocoa Marketing Company would ensure that when it comes to local content development, entities in Ghana that need beans to process for value addition and employment creation are duly supported and enhanced so they can get the beans. So it's an important jigsaw in the cocoa value chain, except that just like you mentioned early on, not much has been said about it. But again, I insist that under the leadership of Dr. Wisdom Dogbe, the Cocoa Marketing Company is soaring onto higher heights.
I've seen that he's talking about Dr. Dogbe. He's put out a piece, and we'll get into that conversation also. So basically, the CMC, the Cocoa Marketing Company, is the one that says, okay, we have the beans, we are not able to sell, or we've been able to sell.
Sure. It should give you accurate information about that. It lies squarely within its ambit to ensure that the beans are sold at the right prices, the right arrangement, and that the cocoa farmers aptly benefit from the sale of their beans.
What has that been in the past year? So let's take 4 years ago and use that timeline. Have we struggled to be able to sell? What exactly has been the problem? Or we've actually been able to sell, and there are some other issues that are, in that whole process and worrying the country?
Okay, so first of all, the question of a struggle may not arise on its own, given the factors that are involved in the sale of the beans. I mean, first of all, you realize that there will be a price for the beans at the world market price.
World market, yeah.
And based on the price, supply will kick in, and there will be a certain amount of demand in respect of the price. So first of all, there is that unique relationship. And so to be very sure, if you have a very good price for the beans on the international market, I'm not too sure that we are going to struggle. Except that over the past years, what we have seen is COCOBO's ability to get a syndicated loan has virtually collapsed because of mounting debts and its inability to pay debts. I'm sure you are pretty much aware about this situation. And so because of that, you have off-takers who decided to come in and buy the beans. Again, when off-takers feel that the price is not right for them, then there are issues in terms of they buying the beans. In recent times, you have had a situation where in Cote d'Ivoire, beans have been kept at warehouses without buyers because off-takers, as it were, are not prepared to take them. So to answer your question, whether or not beans are bought is contingent on the price on the world market and how it is that those who want the beans will obviously want them. But in respect of the Cocoa Marketing Company, in recent times, in terms of selling the beans, the Dr. Dogbe administration has done a yeoman's job, I must admit. Look, even before the recent Cocoa Brouhaha, the Cocoa Marketing Company had sold more than 90% of the beans. The last time I checked,
90%
yes,
of the
more
beans?
than 90% of the beans.
From which time?
Up to the time the cocoa issues came up in recent times.
So
up to
for
the
this
time,
current crop season?
Yes, for this current crop season, the last time I checked, more than 90% of the beans had been sold, left with just around 35,000 tons, which I'm sure that if I'm to check again, you'd realize that that has reduced. So Cocoa Marketing Company has done more than enough. It's done a yeoman's job in ensuring that our cocoa beans are bought on the international market. It has not derelict on its responsibilities in respect of that matter at all. And so claimed by persons that the Cocoa Marketing Company has not been able to sell beans is untrue.
And I was coming to that because we understand that for this particular crop season, 25-26, 580,000 tons of cocoa beans that are supposed to be sold. Is that out of that you're saying that 90% has been sold?
Yes, because the last time I checked, I think there was something within the region of 35,000 tons still on.
That was left.
That was just about 2 weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure by now they would have gone. They would have gone.
In selling these beans and marketing it, of course, the value is very important. There are concerns about value what we add to the beans or what we can make of the cocoa beans that we have.
Okay.
What have we done about that as a CMC?
Okay, so this is a very important issue. My brother, you would agree with me that in the past, Ghana has not done greatly well in terms of selling its beans to indigenous companies. And so, if you recall, the recent reforms announced by government has a key plank in it, and that plank has to do with processing of at least 50% of our cocoa beans in Ghana. And the Cocoa Marketing Company is at the forefront of this.
Okay.
You know why? Because over the years, we have been at the behest of cocoa buyers who determine when they have to get our beans and all of that. But we think that if companies like the Cocoa Marketing Company, companies like the Cocoa Processing Company, WAPCO and others are able to process just above or a minimum of 50% of our beans, you should be able to add value. You should be able to create jobs. And we should be able to provide succor to the average Ghanaian farmer.
Currently, how much are we doing?
Currently, we are doing less than 30%.
The cocoa beans that we produce as a country.
Yes, we are doing less than that.
We are doing less than 30% of that in the country.
Less than that because of, one, issues with the produce buying company. And I'm sure you may be privy to some of them for over 2 years now. If the produce buying company were a human being, it would have been under the weather.
Yes, I had a conversation with Mr. Adimado.
Yes.
When he joined me a few weeks ago.
It's just been under this government, under the current arrangement at Cocoa Marketing Company, the PBC is being revived so that it can now come on board and process the cocoa beans we have amongst others. So surely, this is an important reform we must all avert our minds to and support. My brother, it is the best way we can go about it. Add value to our cocoa, consume our cocoa, export the value-added product, and get the forex we have all along yearned for. And I am saying that under Dr. Wisdom Dogbe, this is being done so that, again, we can streamline the relationship between how much we send out and how much we process inwards as a country. Very, very important. Over the past years, that arrangement has been convoluted. You were not too sure about how much we were retaining and how much we were sending out. But given these reforms, I'm sure you should find a handle to this matter.
Right. We'll get into the conversation about the reforms. We just want to understand the basic role and practices of the CMC, the marketing company, and then just oppose that to why the reforms are important in this current dispensation. So if you just tuned in, we're having a conversation about the role of the Cocoa Marketing Company. Ambrose Amoah Ahyia is with me here in studio as we have this particular conversation. And in all of this brouhaha, right, I had a conversation, and I'm sure later it came out that you must have seen it on the socials, that in our cocoa sector, that you're supposed to have all the agencies in there work together and make sure that we are standing tall as a country when it comes to cocoa production in the world. There were some talks that Dr. Randy Abbey of the Cocoa Board and the
Dr. Wisdom Dogbe,
CEO for Cocoa
Marketing
Company, Dr. Wisdom Dogbe, there was allegedly, that was what was being said, that there was a bit of a fracas. And so that has not gone so well in terms of how we are processing the cocoa. In fact, the whole sector and what we're doing with that. Is that the situation? What has Dr. Randy done?
Yeah, take this from me, and I say this on authority, and I say this without any equivocation. Dr. Randy Abbey and Dr. Wisdom Dogbe have worked perfectly well as professionals and as brothers. There's no friction between these two gentlemen. And that's how come I want to say that these allegations on social media cannot stand on all fours, and that they must be discarded with every energy we have. They work very well as persons. They have worked very well as professionals. They have collaborated. My brother, look, the problems in the cocoa sector as inherited by these two gentlemen were very, very massive and gargantuan. These were problems that have never, ever happened in the history of Ghana's cocoa industry. Imagine a situation where you inherit a debt of 32.9 billion Ghana cedis. Imagine a situation where you have an entity, and I'm talking about Cocoa Board, that goes in for a loan of $350 million from the African Development Bank to tackle swelling shoot disease for over 150,000 hectares of land, and still spends the money and leave about 40,000 hectares of land left unattended to. I mean, these problems were very serious and needed strenuous, concerted effort to tackle them.
All right.
That is how come these reforms have come about. They have come about as a result of a careful study of the situation. And so if anybody says that these two gentlemen, my boss, Dr. Wisdom Dogbe, and the venerable Dr. Randiabi have not been able to work together, I am saying that we should discard that and ignore it totally as we can. And that these gentlemen have at all material times worked together to ensure that the Cocoa Board and its key commercial arm have always worked to achieve results, my brother.
Right. So from Amwa Shah, he says that it's not true.
It is never true. There's no iota of truth in that.
So in this whole situation that has gone on, has there been conversations, meetings? You know, what has been the conversation like?
No. I'm telling you that these reforms, as I will speak about later in our conversation, have come about as a result of effective collaboration.
Okay.
They have come about as a result of thinking through the issues at Cocoa Board that this government inherited. These are solutions arising from an identification of the problems and how these problems must be tackled. And so there are no qualms at all. I want to assure Ghanaians that the two entities, the Cocoa Marketing Company and the Ghana Cocoa Board, are working together to ensure that our cocoa industry stands on its feet and stands properly.
Is there, what are the peculiar challenges with the CMC?
Those are the issues I've spoken about. I have already told you.
The inheritance of debts that have
yes,
made their work
I have told you that it is the commercial arm of Ghana Cocoa Board.
Right.
It's a wholly owned entity of Ghana Cocoa Board. And so, by extension, what affects the Ghana Cocoa Board affects the Cocoa Marketing Company. So those are the issues I have earlier on enumerated in our conversation.
Right. What has been the conversation also with the licensed buyers? Because if the beans coming in from the farmers, the licensed cocoa buyers, the companies, they go get them and bring them. What is the conversation with them regarding the conversation with the farmers at the farm gates who are complaining, does that in any way affect your work? That the licensed buyers have not been paid and all of these things. Does it affect your work? And even the quality of the beans we are seeing?
Okay, so first of all, the issue is that this government is very much willing and prepared to ensure that it works with cocoa buying companies.
Okay.
I mean, there can never be any inhibitions in terms of the relationship at all. Over the years, every NDC government has worked with cocoa marketing companies. This government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the Cocoa Board and his cocoa marketing company will never shy away from working with cocoa marketing companies. And so, in respect of the recent issues, conversations have been had. The difficult issues have been explained to cocoa marketing companies. They appreciate the issues. They know the nuances of these issues running around, and they understand that given the past relationship of government with them, government will always sort them out. Don't forget that just last week, government paid over 1 billion Ghana cedis to these licensed buying companies for beans they would have supplied, but for which they had not received payment. And I'm sure that the cocoa buying companies are privy to this goodwill, and that at every point in time they have appreciated it. The point I want to make is that the relationship between the Ghana Cocoa Board, the Cocoa Marketing Company, and licensed buying companies is rock solid and will continue to remain so, my brother.
Okay, right. What about the quality of the beans we're producing as a country? Is this still top notch?
Yes, Mami Ghana has always produced premium quality cocoa, and the Cocoa Marketing Company has always ensured that that has always been the norm. To the extent that you have not had any complaints from our buyers outside and those within, you should be rest assured that the Cocoa Marketing Company in particular, under Dr. Wisdom Dogbe and the management, have always done what is right.
Okay. Are you able to share with us which countries our cocoa get to in terms of those who get our beans here, those we sell to?
I know that most of the beans will end up in Europe, but I will not be prepared to.
So there's
specific
no
areas. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is data, but you not.
Yes.
You'll not be able to share
We'll
that.
talk
with
about
me
that
yet.
at the appropriate time.
Okay. Right. All right. So let's get into the reforms then.
Yeah.
Because with all of that has happened in the past February, so the past 3 months,
Yeah.
it's been a lot.
Yeah.
Always
yeah,
the
yeah,
cocoa
yeah.
sector
Yeah.
has been the focus for the past 3 months.
Yeah.
So the reforms. Talk to us about that. How does that help CMC?
Okay, so the reforms are a product of the challenges that brought about the situations you spoke about.
Right.
In the past, the Cocoa Board would contact an amalgamation of banks or financial entities.
Okay.
And go get what we call, or what we have always called, the syndicated loan. That will virtually finance the buying of cocoa and the rest, finance the activities of the Ghana Cocoa Board. The past MPP administration led us into a situation of domestic debt exchange, where at a point Cocoa Board itself could not pay for syndicated loans it had taken with cocoa beans it needed to supply. And so I am pretty sure that you are aware of the issue of the 33,000 rollover, for which this administration still needed to supply at a rate of 2,600 per ton.
Right.
And for which they could have done at a higher rate, but for which a previous administration had gone for a rollover. That in itself became a problem. And so if you went for a syndicated loan, because of this failure, you were never going to get it. Number two, like I said earlier on, off-takers came in and said, okay, we are interested in your cocoa beans, we would buy them. But again, because they are rational off-takers, the moment the world market price plummeted, they became somewhat reluctant to buy the cocoa beans. It is one of the reasons we got to where we got to. Arising from these challenges, the cocoa marketing company, the Ghana Cocoa Board, and by extension, government now says that we will no longer be relying on buyers from outside financing our beans. And that the cocoa marketing company, for instance, on behalf of Cocoa Board, will lead a process where cocoa bonds will be floated so that people in Ghana can participate in the financing and sale of our cocoa beans.
Okay.
I think that is excellence. It gives us the opportunity to diversify the sources of funding for our cocoa beans as a country. Again, it gives us the opportunity to rope in local finance entities to get involved in our cocoa business. Again, it grants us some financial sovereignty, because then we will not have to rely on others from outside in terms of where we get money from to buy our cocoa. So that kind of independence is a key reform Ghanaians and cocoa farmers must applaud.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, it assures you of consistent finance for the beans that we are buying. And I'm saying this process is a process the cocoa marketing company under Dr. Uzondogbe is leading strongly. Because at the end of the day, it gives us a situation where we know where we are going and where we are coming from.
Okay.
And so, my brother, if you ask me, I think this has never been the case in the past. It's never been the case in the past because perhaps we forgot that a time will come when the whole process can fall into a certain level of disarray. But once we have gotten people to participate in the process in Ghana in terms of giving finance for the buying of cocoa, we can say that we can go ahead and assure our farmers that their monies and payments will come on time.
Okay. So I was actually taking a look at what the finance minister said, the reviews that, or the reforms that he mentioned earlier this month. So if you look at the causes of this situation, number 8, he says that the current situation is largely driven by the unwillingness of buyers to purchase Ghana's cocoa because it has become uncompetitive. I'd want you to take note of that because I'm going to ask you on that. 9 says that cocoa from other producing countries is now selling at prices significantly lower than the producer price of Ghana. So these two, and as the marketing arm of Cocoa Board, when you go onto the market and you're selling this and the buyers are not ready to purchase Ghana's cocoa because it has become uncompetitive, how has that affected your work? And then the reforms that have come in and how they'll do that. And also that the cocoa from other producing countries is selling at lower prices than that in Ghana.
Yeah. So in terms of how it has affected our work, it's just simple. It is the reason you had our farmers complaining that they had not been paid. So they had supplied the beans.
So that was where my question about the struggle to sell the cocoa came in.
Yeah, so the contest, in terms of the struggle, the contest was demand and supply, as I explained. Okay. But I am answering this in terms of recent happenings.
Okay.
Not in terms
so
of
in
what
recent happenings that the unwillingness of the buyers to purchase our
cocoa.
Yeah,
so essentially the effect is the complaint that, oh, we've supplied our beans, we are not being paid. You get the point I'm trying to raise. Because apparently your cocoa had become uncompetitive. It means that your price is far higher than that of the competitors. And any rational buyer will go in for what is cheaper. I am sure you get this point I am raising. So essentially, that is what brought us to this level. That is how come we want to take hold of the whole situation by the reforms. Assuming we were processing, assuming we had our own finances in our own hands, I am not too sure that we will arrive at this situation. Yeah. And it is for this reason that I think that we should applaud the reforms, because then it comes to answer the issues we have at hand in one bullet.
Okay. So still on that, that is where you talk about the reform on making sure that we do the
value addition.
The value addition. Yes. On IX, before that's 20 IX, says that the state-owned produce buying company, PBC, will be revived to resume full operations and become the leading licensed buying company in the cocoa sector. Yes. Why have we waited all this while for now to revive PBC?
Oh, my brother. I mean, this is just about the first year of this administration. And I'm sure you are privy to the troubles of the produce buying company over the past 5-6 years.
Right.
To the extent that at a point for 2 years, workers had not been paid.
I mean, for the Ghanaian, they'll say we voted for research, so we are waiting for the research to happen.
So you want to reminisce in respect of the state of the PBC. And that is important for the purposes of reference.
Right.
It doesn't mean that the cocoa marketing company and government, and by extension the cocoa board, must renege on their responsibility towards the PBC. Action. The reform is that the PBC is going to be revived, and as I speak to you, processes have started. Why is it important? Because it is a key buying company. It is a key buying company that can never be left to rot. I mean, if the PBC were active, would we be bothered about off-takers buying our beans and all of that? So you asked an important question. Why did we sit aloof for PBC to get to where it got to? The solution, a revival, is absolutely important. And the cocoa marketing company and the managers in charge are fully prepared to undergo this process. Don't forget that when the PBC is revived, processing can go on and everything will be fine.
Okay. One of the main things has to do with the world market price, and I've heard arguments, right, especially from the opposition New Patriotic Party, that when they told Ghanaians that the Russia-Ukraine war was affecting some of the things, the NDC then said, why should that be so? But now we are saying that the world market price is affecting the cocoa prices, and so we also have to follow that.
My brother, you see, we can't go with these arguments of theirs.
They are all external factors.
Oh, no. I mean, you contextualize the external factors in a manner, quote and unquote, that will make sense to everybody. Right. The Russia-Ukraine war is still ongoing, isn't it?
Right.
Has anybody attributed the slump in the demand for cocoa to the Russia-Ukraine war? I mean, I'm not too sure that anybody has said that, isn't it? I mean, nobody has said that. People have argued in respect to the fact that in recent times, you would come across alternatives for chocolate and cocoa, isn't it?
Yes.
Don't you think that is enough to cause a slump in terms of demand? It's simple economics. It means that the demand is no longer inelastic. It has become elastic because there are alternatives for it.
Right.
But again, over the years, we know that cocoa prices on the world market have plummeted and risen over periods of time. That is how come the argument of value addition has always been made. In our days in secondary schools, you would always find a question like this, isn't it? So clearly, we are unable to accept that argument from the NPP. But again, I am saying that the joy and what we should embrace is the fact that these reforms will ensure that we process at least 50% of our beans here in Ghana. And we are sure when you process and add value and export, you are getting more forex than you would have gotten when you will send in this raw state. Right. We know about this, and that is what we want to do.
So including the increased local processing, and there's also the strengthening forward sales strategy that has been put out by your boss.
Yes.
As to one of the ways we can
yes.
get...
You know, in the midst of all of this, you can't discount forward sales and hedging, except that you must do it in a way that will bring optimal benefit. And I'm saying that the optimal benefit is what the cocoa marketing company and government will undertake.
Okay.
Because don't forget, forward sale doesn't happen in a vacuum. My brother, you want to forward sell. For which reason? Because you want to maximize price, isn't it?
Definitely.
But the one buying may also not want to buy at a higher price. So you see, it doesn't work automatically. That is how come the point is to strengthen how that can be done. And at the appropriate time, when we appear here again, we will put in place modalities by the cocoa marketing company under the leadership of Dr. Wisdom Dogbe to ensure that this is done and done effectively.
Okay. Right. I'm still going through the reforms as Dr. Dogbe has mentioned. If there are others that you'd want to elaborate on, you can go.
Yes, but you see, in the process of doing all of these, there is something the cocoa marketing company also wants to do.
Okay.
And it has to do with the turnaround time of managing the cocoa beans. I have told you that the cocoa marketing company is largely in charge of warehouses where these beans are stored before they are transported outside. The cocoa marketing company will undertake a 24-hour economy process. The cocoa marketing company will be a typical example of a 24-hour process.
You're going to fit in there?
Yes, absolutely, because you see, then these warehouses are going to work 24/7, reduce turnaround time, and ensure that those who need cocoa beans abroad can get them on time. And companies that need them within Ghana can also get them on time. Because there have been times when entities have requested for beans when they have not been readily available because of logistical issues. But the cocoa marketing company, when Dr. Wisdom Dogbe and the team are leading this time, will ensure that this problem is overcome. So warehousing, logistical provision, 24-hour reduction in turnaround time will become key issues in handling and logistics of our cocoa beans going forward, my brother.
Okay. Right, so we have a few minutes more to wrap up on this conversation with Ambrose Amoah. He's from the cocoa marketing company, helping us understand the role of the marketing company in Ghana's cocoa sector and what has been done, the reforms that we have been talking about. And of course, the other important one is to debunk the allegations that have said that Dr. Wisdom Dogbe of the CMC and Dr. Randy Abbey have something going on that is not healthy. But
and again, let me even add to that. One of the things we also heard was that, the cocoa marketing company doesn't have a very strong leadership. And that is how come this issue has come about. Again, nothing could be further from the truth. Dr. Wisdom Dogbe is an experienced financial expert of more than 20 years experience. And you don't want to believe that for a person with such an acumen, there will be hiccups or difficulties in terms of managing the cocoa marketing company. He's done extremely well in this short time that he took over as the managing director. And so I would like to throw light on that matter and say once again that it doesn't hold any water, it is not true, and that once again his quality is top-notch, and that we should discard the propaganda and the jandam.
But as the conversation continues, there are calls that Dr. Randy Abbey should resign. or should be removed from the
Okay,
office as the CEO.
So people who say that do not give reasons. Why must he resign as the CEO?
Oh, they say that it's under his leadership that we're seeing all of this back and forth, all of these, you know, the farmers getting onto the streets to demonstrate the delayed payment, because they say that there was a promise from the NDC in their manifesto that when we come, we're going to give you this. Now you come and you're not doing exactly as you have mentioned. You're giving us other excuses.
So let me explain these issues.
All right.
Your predecessor leaves you with a debt of 32.9 billion Ghana cedis. Your predecessor messes an entity that has, for greater parts of its history, held as a key anchor for Ghana's economy. Your predecessor messes it up. Okay? Your predecessor, for instance, decides that for the 2022-2023 cocoa season, I'm supplying something within the region of 800,000 tons. Supply something within the region of 790,000 tons. Fall short by 45%. In nominal terms, 333,000 tons. So that our creditors are no longer willing to give us money to buy cocoa beans. These are sins committed by a predecessor administration. Dr. Randy Abbey comes, takes it up upon himself to clean the system, while amply explaining the challenges to the people of Ghana so they can carefully understand. And that person who caused the problem now says that you who is trying to fix it must now leave. I think that can never be an altruistic call. It is not a sincere call. And again, we will have to discard it. Number two, the issue that the NDC promised that it will give cocoa farmers 6,000 per bag. And therefore, that is what we have to do. You see, there's a maxim that said that nemo dot cordon habet. And I'm sure you may have heard it before. It's a Latin maxim that says that you can't give what you don't have. I can take your phone from you because you have a phone. If you don't have a phone, you can't give me a phone, isn't it? Sometime in December 2024, when the NPP gave cocoa farmers 3,000 Ghana cedis per bag,
right,
the bag of cocoa on the world market was above 9,700 Ghana cedis. So we said that at that point in time, at that exchange rate, and at that circumstance, it was possible then to give the cocoa farmer a bag of 6,000 Ghana cedis. It meant that the NPP then, at 9,700, divided the price into three, basically, and gave the cocoa farmer one, and took two as government. We were saying that we would have given the cocoa farmer two and taken one. Today, what is the world market price of cocoa? It is something within the region of $4,100. In cedi terms today, we are giving the farmer about 90% of the FOB price. So that kind of promise that was given within a contest. It was not a promise without a contest. It was a promise given within a context of what the world market price was and what the NPP gave.
So it was
and we were absolutely spot on.
And it was a promise that was given in that year during the campaign.
Yes.
And then when this government came in, there was an actual increase. And so that means you've actually stirred the farmers' mind to the fact that it can be done. And you will do it.
No.
Because there was a first increment.
So wait.
There was a first increment on the 3rd of October 2025. Well, there was an increase of 12.27%. So it got to 3,625.
Okay, so let me explain this point.
Right.
So when we gave that promise, the world market price per ton was $10,000 in December 2024.
Right.
That was where the farmer was getting 9,700 per bag.
Right.
When it plummeted to how much? 7,200 when we came, we then decided to do what was right. And that is how come that we did the first increment. When it went up a bit, you remember,
yes,
almost about 2-3 months after,
yes,
we came back and increased it to 3,600.
Yes.
In accordance with the world market price.
Right.
In accordance with the world market price, which was no longer $10,000, but this time something within the region of $7,000.
Yes.
As we speak, it has overly plummeted to 4,100. What would we do? The FOB price that we give to the farmer is a percentage of the world market price. Under the new policy we have brought, we have promised that we are giving the cocoa farmers 70% of the FOB price. Today, how much are we doing? We are doing 90%. And that is how come the account says that Obia, why we do Rudano. So, that's a very cry. If I have chewed the gong before, and I want to chew the calabash, will you challenge me? You cannot challenge me.
But the farmers didn't understand it like that.
Clearly, it is because of propaganda. But I'm happy.
No, it is because of a promise.
No.
Given to them.
No.
So the farmer would believe that. You're talking about resetting. And so, what Banawa Yebida, you've done it October 3rd. You've increased it. And you still tell me that it will be done.
Let me tell you something. Last 3 days, Musa Dankwa said 56% of Ghanaian farmers say that what government has given them is fair and proper. Yes. So it means that they understand the context within which the whole thing is happening. For years on end, the cocoa farmer has always known that what the government gives him is a percentage of the world market price. The government doesn't take any additional money from elsewhere and give it to the farmer.
So those we have
even given the current state of cocoa board, as was inherited, how could that have been done? So, my brother, that was said within a context. And I am saying that going forward, these reforms, as I have explained, and particularly under the leadership of Dr. Yudon Dogbe, the Ghana Cocoa Board and the Cocoa Marketing Company, which Dr. Dogbe has, will do the right thing and do right by farmers and the people of Ghana.
Cocoa Board and its board of directors and some senior staff have slashed their salaries to help with that. CMC, are you not doing any?
You will hear that in the course of time. You will hear about that in the course of time. Yes. You will hear
Has
about
it come
that.
up for discussion?
No, you will hear about that in the course of time.
Okay.
Just be alert. You will be the first to hear about it in the course of time.
That you've slashed your salaries.
You will hear about it in the course of time. But don't forget, what Cocoa Board has done in terms of slashing salaries must be commended. It sends a message of unity with the farmers. It unifies with the pain of the farmer and the situation they are in. It means that their managers have not deserted them.
No, I
the
mean,
Cocoa Board has not deserted
that,
cocoa farmers.
10% and 20% of Cocoa Board's money won't do so much.
No, but it is not, you see, it is not about the quantum in terms of how much it will do. It is about the signature activity that shows that we share your pain, we know the troubles you are going through, and that we are with you.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. If you are bereaved, or if you attend a friend's funeral, and go and give a donation of, say, 200 or 300 Ghana, is that amount able to defray the entire cost of the funeral? But it is to show solidarity and say, I have come to commiserate with you, I understand your pain, this is what it is, we are together.
When you are the one who killed the person?
Dr. Randy Abia, the current manager of Cocoa Board, they didn't kill the farmers. They didn't bring this onto the farmers. If the farmers
but they're the ones in charge, so they'll be held accountable.
No, you see, the only thing is that it is a going concern entity.
Okay.
You understand? And so Dr. Randy Abe and his team have embraced the problem. They say we are solving it. The farmers understand.
Okay. Right. So CPC is another arm of Cocoa Board that has to do the processing bit. And in the reforms, as mentioned by the finance minister, it is one of the arms that they are seeking to revive to make sure that it helps in the reforms that have been proposed. So we'll see how that goes. So we're getting into March. The February is coming to an end for CMC. Any other thing that we should know coming from your quarters?
Yes, so I have enumerated 3 key things.
Right.
And I'm saying that the Cocoa Marketing Company will lead the process to ensure 50% of our beans are processed here in Ghana, add value, get forex if you should send it outside and all of that. In no time, Ghanaians will see the fruit of that. I have also said that the CMC is roping its activities to embrace the much heralded 24-hour economy program by this government, and that again, turnaround time, cocoa handling and everything will go smoothly as we have said. Again, I have said the CMC is leading the process to source local funding through the issuers of bond. And I'm saying that again, this is coming on stream, and that we will not hear a situation where cocoa farmers will cry that they have not received their money. That will be a thing of the past, because Dr. Yudon and his team are ensuring that it doesn't happen again.
Ambrose, you're saying this though.
Oh, yes, that's true.
You are saying this, and farmers will be watching.
No.
Because you say it will be a thing of the past.
It will be a thing of the past once we are getting local finance for our cocoa beans. I mean, we are very serious about this, and these reforms have not been announced in a vacuum. And I'm saying that government is very serious about this, and government intends to carry these reforms through.
How much money are we making
in terms
of the cocoa we're putting or selling across?
Spare me the trouble of giving you those figures.
Okay.
Please spare me that trouble.
Right.
Thank you that you have understood me.
The minority has been on the throat of the government that the government has not done well at all in terms of all of these things, and are calling for a total restoration of the cocoa producer price for these farmers that we have talked about.
But you see, in all of this conversation, there's one thing the MPP has not said.
Are you also saying, as some are saying, that they do not have the moral right to say some of these things?
So I'll come to that. There's one thing they have not said. How much of an FOB price would they think would be appropriate for the cocoa farmer currently? You see that in all of this conversation, they have not said it. I mean, a world market price is 4,100 Ghana cedis. How much would they have given the farmer?
Okay.
When they could give the farmer 6,000 in December 2024, when the price was 9,700, they gave the farmer only 3,000. They have no moral right. They have no justification, except that you see. And sometimes I tell people that we all have to keep quiet and watch. But Ghanaians know what is right. They left office not less than 2 years ago. Okay, we still can feel the pain they caused Ghanaians. Cocoa Board suffered from the domestic debt exchange program. Cocoa Board could not pay its debt under their watch. But again, democracy comes with freedom to express your views. So we will accommodate them, but we will do what is right by our cocoa farmers and the cocoa industry in general.
All right. Ambrose, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you too. Thank you for having me.
It will be good to have us pass by the CMC.
Do so. Please
yeah,
do so.
And
you are always
see
welcome.
how things work.
Dr. Adogbe and the team will be very much happy to receive you.
Okay.
So,
thank you very much for your time here this afternoon. Ambrose.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, Ambrose Zamoa Eshia is a representative from the cocoa marketing company. We've understood their role in the whole Ghanaian cocoa value chain, the sector, what's been happening, the brouhaha and all of that. He says that farmers, please be calm for them. There are reforms that have been put in place, and they'll definitely solve the issue that we're currently seeing. We've got a few minutes more on the show. We're going to head to Parliament and listen to the Finance Minister, Dr. Cassio Ato-Forson, was on the floor of Parliament yesterday and speaking about the National Reserve Accumulation Policy. When we come back, we'll be speaking to the Chief Economist at PIED Africa, Dr. Daniel Amate Enim Prempe, on this particular conversation. So let's listen to that from Parliament.
Presenting what he described as Ghana's first comprehensive national reserve policy to the House, the Finance Minister asserted that gold has emerged as the most reliable and immediate instrument for accelerating reserve accumulation without increasing public debt or creating distortions within the domestic financial market. According to him, leveraging Ghana's gold resources strategically would provide a stable anchor for reserve growth while maintaining fiscal discipline.
It is obvious that borrowing to support reserve accumulation is unsustainable and leads to high debt distress and debt overhang. Mr. Speaker, the cost of accumulation reserves through Ghana Gold Board in the year 2025 was significantly lower than the cost of Ghana's 2022-2023 swaps and selling buybacks. Mr. Speaker, the evidence is so clear. The activities of the Ghana Gold Board have been instrumental in restoring macroeconomic stability in Ghana.
Dr. Ato-Forson further outlined key policy directions underpinning the bill, including institutional coordination, transparency mechanisms, and prudent asset management strategies to ensure sustainability and accountability in the reserve build-up process.
Government will adopt a proactive approach to risk management under the Ghana Accelerated National Reserve Accumulation Policy. Price risk will be mitigated through hedging mechanism and complemented by other trading models. Production risk will be addressed by modernizing mining, processing technology, and diversifying production sites. Mr. Speaker, governance risk will be mitigated through independent audits and enhanced transparency. Environmental and social risk will be addressed through intensified enforcement of anti-illegal mining laws, targeted reclamation, alternative livelihood programs, and community engagement programs. Right, Honorable Speaker, this structured approach aimed to transform mining from a volatile revenue source into a stable, transparent, socially and environmentally responsible pillar for macroeconomic stability.
The Minister for Finance called on the Speaker and members of Parliament to support the rationale behind the initiative, stressing the need for deliberate and sustainable framework to protect the economy against external shocks.
Government remains committed to execute, Mr. Speaker, government remains committed to executing this policy with discipline, transparency, and national consensus. The long-term objective is clear: build an economic war chest to withstand global economic shocks, to secure macroeconomic stability, sustain the economic gains made, improve the standard of living of Ghanaians, and build lasting national prosperity for our future generation. Right, Honorable Speaker, on this historic occasion, I call on this august House to consider and approve Ghana's first national policy, deliberately designed to build external reserves and secure the future of our country.
He maintained that the proposed framework will reinforce economic stability, support currency strength, and position Ghana to better withstand future global economic uncertainties.
The finance minister came here talking to us about some 15-month import cover. Mr. Speaker, we are not interested in his economic theories. Mr. Speaker, the finance minister must know that this House is not interested in his new theories. Mr. Speaker, the people of Ghana, and I start from the youth, you promised them 1 job, 3 shifts. I expect you, as a finance minister, to come to this House to address us on efforts you are making. It's been 1 year. 1 year. Your own constituent, give us data. How many people you've employed? In Jomoro, in Ebaregira, in Efutu, the transport minister, the roads and highways minister, in his own constituency at Adaku. How many people have benefited from job creation policy? You come to this House, and you tell us 15-month import cover, and you come and spend a whole 1 hour when your people have no jobs. Mr. Speaker, even when you come to the recruitment, it's a complete scam. And I'll explain to you, the recruitment into police, immigration, prisons, you are now even telling the youth that they should go and buy forms. They should go behind computer and do aptitude tests. In this country, how many areas have internet? The youth are spending more. The youth who are already unemployed, they are borrowing to spend, to have access to computer. These are things that you have ignored. You've ignored. And you come and sit here and say, macro, nebedi. Macro, nebedi. Obeja was a macro ni day. Finance minister, what's it day? Macroeconomic and accumulation. My friend, finance minister, I'm not interested in your macro numbers. I'm not interested. I'm interested in the bread and butter issues. I want to congratulate the
Minority Leader Alexander Apenyomakin, speaking there, visibly not happy with the policy as read out by the Finance Minister, Dr. Cassius Ato-Force. We're going to focus on this and also touch a bit on the State of the Nation's address that will be happening tomorrow. And Dr. Daniel Amate Enim Prempeh, Chief Economist at PIED Africa, he's joining us on Zoom now. Good afternoon, Doc. Thank you very much for your time here. Hello, Doc. Kindly unmute yourself so we can hear you. Hello? We're unable to hear what Doc is saying. We may have to work on that and tell him to unmute so we could hear him. So Dr. Amartey Anim-Prempeh will be joining us for this conversation. But for the Finance Minister, he says that this initiative is a historic one and strategic shift in how Ghana manages its external buffers, moving away from costly borrowing and short-term reserve building measures towards a more structured, gold-backed and reform-driven accumulation framework. Let's try again and see if we can have Doc speak to us now. Hi, Doc. Doc, I'm unable to hear you. Okay, so we'll work on that. But let me just take you through some of the things as mentioned in this particular policy by the Finance Minister. So there's a target of a 15 months of import cover by 2028, and this policy, the government is targeting an ambitious increase in reserves to the equivalent of 15 months of import cover by the end of 2025. And he described the target as a creation of an economic war chest to shield Ghana against commodity price shocks and global financing volatility. And it also adds that this will be ending costly borrowing for reserves. Says that this particular policy, as we have currently, Ghana relying heavily on Eurobonds, swaps, sale and buyback transactions, and commercial bank borrowing to build reserves at significant cost, and this is going to change that. And also, there's going to be a broader structural reform that beyond gold, the policy would integrate structural reforms aimed at expanding foreign exchange inflows and reducing persistent outflows. So this includes the scaling up of non-traditional exports, revitalization of cocoa productivity is very important, and implementing the national policy on integrated oil palm development, accelerating new oil field development, and also the conserving of foreign exchange through gas to power transformation policy. Doc is back on now. Hi, Doc. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Right. Welcome to the program. So we're going to touch on this quickly. So we heard from the minister, says that this is a historic one and one that is going to shift Ghana's economic drive. Listening to all the policies and the things that are mentioned under this, what do you make of it?
Thank you very much. I will describe it as quite innovative mechanism to ensure that we beef up our reserves at the Bank of Ghana to deal with any external shock that may impact on the economy. More significantly, our ability to have more, reserves, that's the dollar, to be able to meet demand of businesses. Because ensuring that we stabilize the value of the local currency, which is very important for businesses, important for the overall health of the economy. So that is one aspect of it, provided it will be done in a manner that will bring about efficiency. It will be done in a manner that it will also not affect other sectors of the economy. For instance, if it is well done and organized, okay, to the extent that it will not impact negatively on the current galamsey menace that we're trying to deal with, then that should be a very innovative mechanism. So the Honorable Minister should also look at beyond the economics, that is beefing up the reserves and then also ensuring that we enhance the value of the local currency. The other aspect, the health and the social aspect in terms of, activities of galamsey, because once we have this policy, the temptation is that gold mining will also increase, okay? And if we do not have interventions to ensure that once we're beefing up our reserve through this, initiative, which to my mind is quite innovative, equally so, we must pay keen attention to gold production, socially and environmentally acceptable production that will not further destroy our water bodies, just to fulfill the quest of beefing up our reserves. So this is my initial reservation.
Right. He says this is supposed to build on the strong economic foundation that has been laid already by this government in the past year. Is that one also that will make a good case for this policy to thrive?
Yes, certainly so. It's not just a matter of ensuring that you stabilize your macroeconomic environment. The sustainability of same is very important. And over the years, we've been struggling in terms of sustaining macroeconomic gains. So to my mind, I think if this policy is better rolled out, it will ensure the stability of the macroeconomic environment, especially the performance of the local currency. Okay, the cedi depreciates anytime there's a shortage, and Bank of Ghana inability to supply more. Okay, but going forward as a nation into the very medium and the long-term perspective as a nation, we should be looking at beefing up our production base, which is very important. Okay, the production base simply means that you produce items that you have competitive urge in producing, so you minimize your import. Okay, and then you rather expand your export, and by adding value to whatever you produce. If that is done, that economics is done. It is that one that will ensure a continuous sustainability of the macroeconomic environment, a policy that will create a sustainable job for the citizens. Okay, so this is a short-term mechanism which is very good and productive. Okay, and it will further help to enhance the value of our local currency. But whatever gain that will derive from it should be channeled to support building up our production base, that is our industrial base. And that is the only way that we can effectively anchor this economy going forward as a nation.
And just a quick one on the borrowing part, because he's mentioned that this is going to be a gold-backed policy, and doing the analogy with how much Gold Board has been able to generate, about $10 billion in exchange or foreign exchange as compared to the amount that was used in the operations and all of that. This will be good for us as a country?
Yes, certainly so. Say over the years, we've not actually explored to derive maximum benefit from our gold reserve that God has given us as a people. So this initiative is one of a kind to ensure that at least we beef up our reserves at the Bank of Ghana to be able to meet our demand as and when businesses will place on the dollar. That is very good. Going beyond that, I mean, adding value to the gold in terms of production and creating jobs is another leg, which I've heard is in the pipeline the government is trying to do. To my mind, they equally have to focus on that and ensure that we produce or we add value to our gold at a very large scale so that we can create meaningful jobs and bring in more inflow into the country. So to me, if we combine the two, it's a way of ensuring that we have a very sustained, positive macroeconomic indicators that will support the growth of the economy. So for now, it's quite progressive, and I only pray that it will be done devoid of the petty politics around it and a focus and ensure that they bring efficiency to the fore to ensure that at least we achieved the set target set by the Honorable Finance Minister by 2028, where we have import, 5 months import cover far above the 3 months recommended by IMF and the World Bank. Respectfully.
Doc, I'm out of time, but there's a final question. I'm tying that in with the SONA tomorrow. As we heard from the minority leader, it says that these macroeconomic and all of those things that the finance minister is saying, the ordinary Ghanaian does not care about that. They're thinking about what is happening in their lives, how all of these is going to benefit them. Tying that in with the State of the Nation's address tomorrow by the President, what are your expectations? And for the ordinary Ghanaian, what should they be looking forward to?
Yes, I must admit that, yes, ordinary Ghanaian is expecting jobs, is expecting increases in his income, okay, or his wages. That is true. But the macroeconomic environment is also very important. You need to lay a very strong foundation, and it appears this government is doing very well in this particular respect. But I equally agree with the minority speaker asking government to, but not to say that they should forget or they should close one eye on developing a solid macroeconomic environment, because you need that one before you can prepare growth and ensure that at the micro level, jobs are created, money enters into the pocket of people. So with the SONA, I expected the president, of course, I know the president will be celebrating in respect of the macroeconomic performance of his government. Okay, so but beyond that, he should be able to also tell us the policies underpinning this particular performance to ensure that jobs are created, you know, for the teeming youth, opportunities are created for everybody, so that all of us will have the shared prosperity that we envisage as a country.
Right. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Lawyer Daniel Enim, Amate Enim Prempeh. Lawyer Daniel Enim Sorry, let me get the name right again, so that if I see him somewhere, I don't get into trouble. So, lawyer Daniel Amate Enim Prempe is with the Policy Initiative for Economic Development Africa, and he spoke to us then. That's how we're wrapping up the show for today. Many thanks for joining us here. My name is Desmond Okrekudan, so before I go, I want to say happy birthday to brother Benjamin Bain Tum of Tamanutan. Today is your birthday. Happy birthday to you. God bless you. So that's it. Many thanks for watching. For more news, log on to our website, www.metrotvonline.com. Have a good afternoon. Bye.
And now, O Lord, our leaders great, to whom you give wisdom and power to build this glorious institute, so grant us, Lord divine, both strength and love to cherish